Welcome one and welcome all to what is the final best of 3 in this team clan war between Acer and mYinsanity, two European powerhouses to say the least. And we'll see how this one goes. Spawning in the southern portion next to the Lich King. He is your blue player, the Terran god of the European ladder, known as mYinsanity's Jjakji. Of course, small nod to him. He's got like an insane ladder record. If you guys haven't stalked him online, you should, because he's seriously got like a 60-5 record or something. Maybe not that infallible, but still a pretty badass record. Up here in the north, though, he is the red Zerg player from Acer. Give it up for the Polish pride known as Nerchio. So this is, again, the deciding factor of who goes to the finals, who wins today's clan war, and, of course, pride between these two. We will see what ends up being the case. So the TVZ, Jjakji is pretty strong. One thing I just gotta give him a nod for, honestly, if he did this versus Nerchio, I would be really caught off guard by it. But, like, Jjakji, he likes to do 88 Reapers. He's the only Terran player I know of that actually does it in, like, tournament play. Not really that's what's going to happen, but I'm just going to guess that it's going to be bio. Jjakji has shown that he's willing to play mech, but it's not really the common go-to. Nerchio, however, it's hard to predict what he's going to do versus Jjakji, right? Because he's this guy, he's like a magic man with his like bag of tricks, floats on in and pulls any build out, flips a coin most of the time, and still manages to always make it land heads type thing. We'll see what he ends up doing though. It's like any other player, I could tell you, like I could give a quick prediction of what I think was going to happen, but I think first off, this might be the first time I've seen these two particularly square off. So I don't know that they've actually fought in any weekly cups that I've cast. I'm thinking in my brain right now while I'm talking. I really don't think I've seen Jjakji versus Nerchio in recent days. So a little bit curious how this will go. His teammate though, his ally Bly, I'm talking about Nerchio of course here, has beaten Jjakji in the past in weekly cups. But again, Jjakji, it's not easily beaten, and it's like one time doesn't account for the other 4 times like he beats Bly type thing. So it's not exactly like Nerchio be like, yo Bly, psst, psst. I need the strats. Give me the roach timings. What do I hit Jjakji with to really make him suffer? But Reaper does get up here to the main, doing that dance we so commonly see against the Lings. Surprised Nerchio is willing to fight off a creep for so long. Does cost him a Ling here. I don't know why there's no sound with that. Sorry about that, guys. But gets down with the Reaper, still alive. Drone's not even going to be trying. He's going to have to build cancel probably at least one of these two. Never mind, Lings do, of course, respond in due time. Queen's popping here in a moment. Nerchio gets another Ling loss, but not the end of the world. Ooh, I'm actually really glad. If Nerchio had ducked in there, the Queen would actually have been able to kill it before he would have been able to run out of range. But behind this, we got the Hellions. We got the Reactor. Will we see the Starport? I'm thinking we will. He's got that second gas finishing up. It's not going to be enough for cloaked Banshees, but could still crank out a Banshee if he wants to. A cloak-less Banshee matched with 6 Hellions and 2 Reapers can sometimes be a really, really unstoppable force. But the 2 Reapers, seeing that there's nothing at home for them to defend against, will poke up here. The extra Queen has popped out though, so it does have to be incredibly careful about this. Last thing you want to do is throw away these Reapers, because it severely diminishes the durability of your follow-up push. Almost loses one, but still backs away just in the nick of time. As far as Nerchio though, I like his Overlord spread. Right now what he's primarily doing by having these out here is looking for medevac drops or something quick and insane to come out. Jjakji is not your typical player who goes for that Pult Viking right off the bat. For those who don't know what a Pult Viking is when you just put one Viking really, really quick in order to clean up Overlords around the map. So we'll just probably go for the Banshee by the looks of it, to pair it up with the Hellions. Now, if you invest in Cloak for the Banshee, typically it means you're going to have more than 2. If you go Cloak less, it's usually just that first one that pairs with the Banshee or the Hellion push. But actually investing here into Cloak. A little bit worried here. He's got his front wall down. Nerchio should be okay to hold against this. I mean, one Banshee, yes, its damage is really good, but it shouldn't be able to just straight up win the game. A couple Lings chipping away at the back ice over here. Opening that path is kind of nice to have, but it takes so long to open that it's not really easily done. And right, he sees the fact that this base is pretty fortified in. One Reaper does go towards the main. Not going to be able to get a whole lot done. Just scouting mostly more than anything else. Sees the gas timings. Can't quite see all 4 here at the natural, I believe. Yeah, only gets 1, not all 4. Complete. But Banshee coming out here in just a sec. Stim is actually finishing up 2, or it's not finishing up, started up 2. So he's not going to have Marines to push with this, but a follow-up is not going to be out of the question. If he can keep Jjakji, or sorry, if Jjakji rather can keep Nerchio's link counts low, follow up with a lot of Marines, pushing won't be too problematic, as there won't be a lot of banelings available to shut them down. Oh, I love you guys in chat. First blooding like crazy. Thank you for participating. Helly's gonna push up once more, but again, kind of limited on what they can do. He can try and pick away at this queen. This is transfuse available though. Nerchio, there we go, a little bit late to use it, but still focusing it down. Now the queen's been brought to the front line. Should be able to pick this off. No detection here, so he'll get some free reign on top of the queens, and the lings have quite frankly been barbecued underneath this. Now the queen's gonna go down, and this is not enough Hellions left over to push through and kill drones, unfortunately, but you know, picking the queens off is always really nice. Means there's going to be less creep spread, limits the larva injects temporarily. But no queen in the main. No queen at the natural. Oh, sorry, there's queen at the natural. It's hiding. Spore Crawler finishes up, though. For Jjakji, kind of limited on what he can do here. Spire's being made too, so he's got to scout that and know that the time he's coming. I mean, he's still making Woodwise, he's getting Marines out, but investing into further Banshees becomes less and less worthwhile. He is going to go up to 3, and 3 Banshees have really insanely high DPS. That being said, it's not like they can dance with a Spore Crawler, and it's not like they can even touch Mutalisks. Banshees, sadly, cannot shoot up, guys. Picks up some drones there with some nice little move attack micro. But yeah, Banshees are sustained for now. Again, the fear is once the Spire completes, the Mutalisk will be out, and actually, he could probably pick off the Spire. It's in such a terrible spot that the Banshees could shoot at it from behind, but of course, he doesn't know about it, he doesn't see it there, but if he could kill that Spire, that would actually be huge. Instead going towards the main to pick up some more drones. Oh, Jjakji missing out on a golden opportunity. Widowmice backing up and burrowed all over the place, kind of like acting on Preteen's face, just spreading them out as much as he can. Needs to get more Marines, though. One thing that is going to be lacking for Jjakji, because he's opted to go for this extra production, or it took a long while to get his production up, he's not going to have the actual production means of getting a lot of Marines out. Now, it's not like it's going to be dangerous. The Mutalisks aren't going to be coming out in droves. I mean, it's going to be like, what, 7, 8, maybe 9 at the most to start with? Jjakji, or Nerchio actually doesn't have the mineral count to even make that many. Just the gas count currently. And, yeah, we're going to pick up a couple drones here. Drone kills so far, up to 12 with these 2 Banshees. If he keeps them alive, that'd be fantastic. You can always bring it back home and repair for later. While they might not get a lot of damage done immediately, Banshees are still a really, really high DPS source, and keep them alive for pushing against roaches, trying to bust through banelings, folks throwing them down from above. I mean, these are all options that are available to him, but not if he loses them. Even here in the middle of the map, picking off a lot of lings for free. Killing the lings, not a big deal, but preventing potential banelings, that certainly is. Third base for Nerchio, by the way, has got the Spore Crawl up. He's well established. He's going to be mining off this comfortably for quite some time. Solar Sun in chat proposing the idea of what if Hellions could shoot up? Oh, this Banshee actually has 5 health, barely gets away. Looks like the Overseer will allow it to get cleaned up. Actually, it's funny that Solar Sun brings that up, because I have a friend of mine actually who's just recently yesterday saying, like, why can't Zerg get the upgrades that turn Locusts into Flying Locusts? And I'm like, because that'd be so broken, there'd be no answer to it. It would kind of be the same. If Hellions could splash damage upwards with their bonus versus light, Mutalisks clump the way they are in their light units, that would be so unfair, shooting a jet of fire like a volcano erupting into the air. Widowmice are going to try and burrow. They will get that burrow off. Has to be a little bit careful, though. The Overseer is in position to get some decent scouting, but unfortunately unburrowed as the banelings come in. Perhaps a little too late. Uses every single baneling almost, except about 5 do whittle through. The stutter step, though, out of Jjakji is proving to be quite nice. If he picks off the banelings, more power to him. He is going to focus fire these down, but the Marines are going to get picked off in the end. So trades out a lot of banelings for a lot of Marines, gets the Widowmice more importantly, still doesn't quite come out ahead, but again, that's the causality of using banelings to trade against units. You never get them for round number 2. Bunker coming up here at the third base for Jjakji as well. I like the Widowmice being split a little bit here. His positioning is not too shabby. The Mutalisk flock is not out of hand, but it's still quite scary with 14 of them. Can't engage the Marines, but can certainly pick off Widowmines with relative ease. Yep, just ducks in, picks it up, gets out. As each Widowmine goes down, it opens a new pathway for banelings to roll in, and banelings are certainly going to try to roll in. There's not an insane number of them, but Nerchio's fighting off a creep. He's got to keep that in mind. The Banshees, as stated earlier, are going to like rain down from above. Really key that he left these alive. That's like 5 less Banelings that were able to connect to the army. But still, there's a turret, there's some Marines. These Mutalisks should not be able to end the game right here. Banshees are going to run out of cloak, though. He's got to be careful, keep these alive for a further engagement. Looks like the turret, though, is going to hold. The Marines as well will chase this back, and Jjakji holds magnificently. Now, Nerchio, not to take anything away from Paranoid earlier, guys, but you will notice the series of Jjakji versus Paranoid. Paranoid's upgrades are behind every step of the way. Nerchio's playing this out much more tightly, much more the way you should expect this to be done, where you've got that 2-2 before your Terran opponent. Jjakji should be forced to spend a lot of extra gas on Medevacs and Banshees and what have you, Widowmines included, and not be able to afford the 2-2 as fast as our Zerg player. So now with 2-2 under his belt, he's going to have a lot of Banelings here in the middle of the map. Scrap engagements will go his way, but of course a giant push is not in order anytime soon. And Nerchio's best utilization of these Mutalisks will be to constantly just harass, try and pick off SCVs, pick off the odd Marine that's out of position, maybe a Widowmine or two. But there's no way he takes on a full-on engagement, and I think he knows this too. Marines are going to try and keep chasing these around. Fourth base from Nerchio being established while this goes on. You know, not a lot of Zerg players take it, but I would love to see this ice knockdown since he's not really doing a lot with his Zerglings right now, just to open up the potential of a 5th base back there, or a 4th base if this one gets denied. We'll almost lose the Mutalisks, but again, like I said, just picking off free units where he can, really not over-investing into the harassment here. Ooh, Overlord looks like it did die over there behind the crane. But, yeah, with the bunker down and these Banshees, I really love that these Banshees were kept alive. Like, they really came into play in that last engagement. Unfortunately, I kind of cast or cursed them as they get picked off here. I'm sorry, Banshees! I didn't mean nothing by it! I didn't mean to kill you! Nerchio's going to be chased back by this one small metal Marines. A couple Banelings going to be used to clean them up. Not the most efficient way to use these Banelings, but of course, drives this back nonetheless. A small hit squad has been established over here. It's not really a medevac drop, but more of just like a way to attack into this 4th. Banelings and Mutalisks are trying to engage into the army over here, but again, there's so many Widowmines and Marines to fall back onto. It's just not a good engagement. Drilling Claws looks like it was, I want to say was finished up. Was in fact finished up. Those Widowmines did burrow rather quickly. A couple of Mutalisks going to be picked off here, though. That is the nice thing about Mutalisks. They have a pretty decent health pool, but of course Marines can shred through that pretty quickly. Cleaning out the creep in the middle of the map. Jjakji is going to start positioning himself here to push just a little bit, but there's a lot of Banelings rolling in, and again, on creep, picks up through the medevacs. These Widowmines should be able to get some good hits on the Banelings, but they actually roll out of range a little too quickly, so about 3 of those Widowmines did not get the chance to arm. Marines are spread pretty decently, but still, even off of creep, this is a lot of Banelings to deal with. Going to trade into the bunker. Marines will be suffocated behind this, and looks like the Zerglings flooding in might just be a little too much. I don't know if this base is going to hold. That bunker is empty. Jjakji has nothing in this. The SCVs are going to get destroyed, and the command center is going to try and lift, but there's Mutalisks waiting to kill it. The production of Jjakji looks like it's actually not going to be enough to deal with this. Marines are doing what they can to hold the line. A couple more Widowmines going off, though, will change this entirely. Now the Mutalisks are so incredibly low. Bunker's not going to hold, though. And Jjakji, oh god, why is his production? Oh, he doesn't have reactors or tech labs on these additional barracks. He also doesn't have the economy, more importantly. Still going to try and drive these Mutalisks back. I don't think he's out of the game here, but man, is he going to take some damage before he recovers. Mutalisks on top of the medevacs is going to cost him a little more here on top of this. But looks like he'll finally drive this back. Widowmine's going to be armed just in the nick of time to get one more hit off, or not. Those are too fast to fly out of range. But he kept the command center alive. The orbital command living through this was actually kind of a big deal. Big problem remains, though. He can't take this army on, and Nerchio's army supply is not overwhelming compared to that of Jjakji, but Jjakji is coming out, you know, like one Marine at a time. 2 Widowmines flooding forward. Oh, why did he donate the orbital? Ah! Good game is going to be called, rightfully so, upon losing that 3rd base. Nerchio will lead this series 1-0 in the finals here, essentially.